This is our book for this week, children. I've chosen a non-fiction book. Can you remember how we can tell the difference between fiction and non-fiction? Have a chat with your grown-up. What do you see in a non-fiction book? What do you see in a fiction book? This book is about bats. I've been sitting in my garden at night time, and just recently I've seen 3 bats flying, darting really quickly all around my garden, very low sometimes, swooping down to look for their dinner. So I thought it would be a really nice thing to learn a bit more about the bats. You might see bats in your garden if you go out just as it's getting dark. Let's learn about bats. Can you see what our grapheme is? Here it is. I fly high. Bats fly high, don't they? Let's go inside our book. Oh, right, let's do our speed sounds. Are you ready? Off you go. On our book now, you can see that we've got a list underneath each sound, and that's the way that the graphemes have been written. So let's look for n. It can be written n, or it can be 2 n's, or it can be like knock knock naughty night. If you look under all of your sounds, you can start to see all the ways that that sound is written. Now we're going to look at our green words today. Now, do you remember what Mrs. Wells always says? Look for your special friends. Say your special friends out loud and then sound out the word with Fred sounds. Okay, I'm going to help you with the first one. I'm going to look for my special friend, I, and then I'm going to sound it out. I, hi. Right, now it's your turn to have a go at the rest of the words. Off you go. I just want us to look at that middle box. Now, can you remember we talked about syllables, and at school we clap them, but Mrs. Wells is holding a camera so I can't clap them. So have a go at clapping them with your grown-up. Listen carefully. Away, away. How many claps would away be? Timid. How many claps is timid? Oh, we've got a big one. Animal. Animal. Can you hear how many claps that is? You have a go. Frightening. Frightening. And then in our third box, in the box at the bottom, we've got words, but then we've got words with endings on them. Sleep, sleeping. Pitch, pitched. Tell, telling. Tight, tightly. As we're getting better with our reading, so our vocabulary is changing, isn't it? We're getting lots of different endings and we're getting lots of new words. Let's have a look at our vocabulary. Oh, we've got our red words to do, so we've got another page. Now, there is some that might not be recognisable to us. We've done the, we've done call, we've done to, we've done of. Makes, makes. See if you can sound the next one out. Winter, is, echo, good. Very, very red, tricky, hard words today. Now let's look at our introduction. Have you ever seen a bat? They are called nocturnal animals because they sleep in the daytime and they come out at night. Can you think of any other nocturnal animals? It means they sleep in the daytime and they come out at night. Have a chat with your grown-up. What other animals sleep in the daytime and come out at night? This means they're nocturnal. Read this batty book to find out all about bats. It's got a really lovely picture of a bat. What's the bat holding in its mouth? We have lots of new vocabulary in this book. Timid, timid. It means very shy. High-pitched in high-pitched. A very high sound like a shriek. In flight. When something is flying. Echo, a sound that bounces off an object and it comes back. Now it says to us to look for capital letters that start sentences. There will be full stops at the end of a sentence, and there's commas to show when people take a breath when they pause, and exclamation marks. We've talked about those in class. A bat might seem frightening, but a bat is a timid animal. We've got a title there. It says sleeping, so we know that on this page we're going to learn about bats and their sleeping habits. Bats sleep in the day. This bat is sleeping high up in a tree. Its feet grip the branch tightly. Can you see his little feet? He's hanging off a branch. In winter, bats have a long, deep sleep away from bright lights. And when we talked about hedgehogs in the year, we talked about them hibernating. And I think that's what bats do. This page is going to tell us about what, do you think? What does it say at the top this time? Night flights. Bats feed at night. A bat has good sight, but at night it needs its ears. Look at those great big ears. It makes a high-pitched call when it is in flight. Can you see the call goes out and it bounces off something and then comes back? An echo is telling this bat that it is next to a tree. Now this is a really clever thing that bats have, and it's called echolocation. If you go onto YouTube and put in echolocation song, there is a really lovely song, especially for children, all about echolocation. So the bat puts out its sound, the sound hits an object, and then it comes back to the bat and it can hear and find out where things are. So it's called echolocation. So the echo is telling the bat that it is next to a tree. Feeding. This bat feeds on insects. A greedy bat might snap up hundreds of insects in a night. I'm going to ask you some questions now. You might like to answer them in your writing books. You might like to do a bit of a research project this week. I think that'd be a really good thing to do. So this week, Mrs. Wells would love for you to look for information on the internet or in books. Find out all about bats. So I want you to answer these questions in your book. Do you think a bat is likely to attack a person? When do bats go to sleep? When do bats eat? What do bats like to eat? What does a bat need at night time? What type of call does a bat make? Can you find out for Mrs. Wells what echolocation is? If you have a look on YouTube, there's a great song that teaches children all about echolocation. And if it's okay with your mummies and your daddies, your carer, perhaps go out when it's starting to get dark. Have a look to see if you can see bats flitting around your garden. It's very exciting to watch them fly, and they fly in a very interesting way. They flit and flicker. So this week, I want you to make me a little information booklet all about bats. You can draw pictures. You can show me what they eat. All those things. So have a go at finding out about bats this week. Off you go then.